My name is Emily Parsons Lord. I'm an artist and I'm presenting this work today at Abbotsford Convent with two large works of scale. The first one is Things Fall Apart, and a new world of works called Trembling, which is an installation that uses a lot of contentious materials from the air and from the climate crisis. As an artist, I feel really excited about invisible materials because they're kind of imaginary as well as physical materials. So that might include the air, explosions, which for me is an extreme condition of the air, plant distress pheromones, all the sort of myriad of materials that are in this space that kind of goes upwards from the surface up into the vacuum of space. It's been really special to work in the laundry rooms here at Abbotsford, spending time in here with the flow of mist and the water, and knowing that this space was a laundry room. There's a memory in the surfaces here. There's a haunting or something, just the movement of water and the feeling of water in this space. And I don't know, it feels very reverberant in here, the energy. This work is called Things Fall Apart, and in it is quite a big pool of water where you can walk out on a plank by yourself and have a sort of solitary moment under this long waterfall of mist. And mixed in with the mist is a plant distress pheromone called methyl jasmonate. Methyl jasmonate is a really common part of the air. It's a sophisticated plant communication signal. What it's doing is communicating with its neighbours to say that, we might be under attack by a pathogen or a plant eater. But also if we're in environmental distress, they're kind of telling their neighbours, hey, it's not safe here. So by using this material, it's sort of like we're breathing, but also we're hopefully taking in the idea of that direct cry of distress from the environment or from plants. And for me, it turns the whole installation into a distress beacon, I suppose. You know, we're not necessarily heeding the direct warnings that are really evident. Trembling is an installation that's new for me. I'm really excited about it. I'm using as a starting point materials of the air and that kind of contentious politics of the airspace. So on the sculptures are some big dry icebergs. So dry ice is carbon dioxide made solid, and of course it really is standing for the climate crisis. Embedded in these large blocks of CO2 are other materials that have been sourced from the air or feel very contentious thinking about the air. I was able to collect a whole bunch of carbon from air pollution, a selection of meteorites that are embedded in the dry ice. There are fragments of the KT boundary. The KT boundary is a geological marker that's all over the Earth that is evidence of the meteorite that hit the Earth and meant the end of the dinosaurs. Alongside that, I went to a clay pigeon shooting range and collected up a lot of the spent lead shot from the range, and that's sort of in there. I love that it's already had an explosive past, and it's also sort of been captured just before that impact moment. I was very drawn to the kind of energy in the dry ice as it sublimates. You know, when you put dry ice onto metal, it starts to squeak and squeal, and as it sort of sublimates, it heats up quickly on its edges. And so all of these beautiful sculptures that to me have a lot of character start sort of vibrating and trembling. And I think that tremble can be fear, it can be anticipation, and it can just be full of energy. As these materials slowly are revealed, they come to the surface, and there's a lot of tension when you can kind of see it making its way out as it finally falls onto the material that is amplified to kind of really make that moment of impact resonant. The amplified materials are an invitation to what a close-up does with our eyes, does for our ears. So we're really seeing this accumulation of small catastrophes, of small impacts, and kind of seeing them in an aggregate way. When I think about the title of the work, We Are Exploding, I'm very much playing with these different time periods. If we change our experience of time from that human lifespan to a geological or a cosmic experience of time, the changes to the planet since the Industrial Revolution are so hot, it's so vibrating with energy, that I think this is how it feels to explode. So for me, we are exploding, and it's speaking to our time, to our condition as being witnesses of this grand collapse, of this grand explosion.